Hey everybody, it's Randall. So, tonight, it's Black History Month. We're talking about somebody who doesn't really get enough recognition. This man was the first ever to appear in a Major League Baseball game. This man still does not get enough recognition. And he took that field. Yeah, there were some people cheering for him. Hell of a lot of people booing him. Um, some of his own teammates didn't want him on the field. Even the opposing team. I mean, the opposing team that day, they're like, we're out of here. We're not going to play, you know, unless you get him off the field. To his credit, the team's manager said, no, we're not going to play that game. You're going to play. Or else you can leave without your part of the gate receipts. Because back then, teams would split the gate receipts for, the attendance. So the manager of the other team, who was also the captain, relented and said, you know what, fine, we'll play. You know, they weren't happy about it, but they did anyways. Yeah, that was about roughly 100 and let's do a quick math here. About 100 36 years ago that happened. Oh, you thought I was talking about Jackie Robinson? No, 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 no. You see, about 20 or so years after the Civil War ended, Moses Fleetwood Walker became the first Major League Baseball player who was African American. Walker graduated from the University of Michigan, played catcher for Toledo, the American Association, which was the second major league at the time. Now, the American Association did a lot of other things that the National League didn't do, excuse me. They played ball on Sundays, and they allowed women to attend games, and they sold beer. Okay, hard to imagine that. National League used to be a dry league. But we don't hear much about Moses Fleetwood Walker. We know plenty about the opposing team's manager that day. Opposing team's manager that day was Camp Anson. Camp Anson, who was considered one of the greatest ball players of the early days, is now in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Yet Pete Rose and players who are tainted by PEDs, nobody wants them in because apparently they ruined the fabric of the game. But yet in the Hall of Fame is Camp Anson, the man who is the grandfather of the Gentleman's Agreement, which essentially made Major League Baseball whites only. And also in the Baseball Hall of Fame is Kennesaw Mountain Landis, who openly said one of his greatest accomplishments was to keep the major leagues white only. But he's in the hall. But that's something for another video. So Walker, that first season, I mean, he endured a lot. I mean, there was a lot that was thrown at him. There was a lot that was said to him. Tony Malone, who was his pitcher, would often cross up the signals purposely. So if Walker called for a fastball, Malone would throw him a curve. Just because Malone didn't like the fact that he had to throw the ball to a black man. Walker only lasted a couple seasons in the major leagues. Like I said, this was about 20 years or so after the Civil War ended, so you can just imagine the fact that there were people that were still alive at that time who either fought in the Civil War, lost somebody who fought in the Civil War, so the wounds were still pretty much fresh. About 20 plus years after he left the game, Walker wrote a book about how African Americans will never be accepted, and maybe it was time for them to go back to Africa and colonize. That could be part of the reason why we don't hear about Fleetwood Walker. But I think it is a tragedy that we don't hear about him. I think his story needs to be out there. Major League Baseball, MLB Network, why don't you try doing a special on him? I'm not trying to downgrade what Jackie Robinson did. Jackie Robinson became the first black man in the modern era to play Major League Ball. And funny thing is that he could have done it 2 years prior. See, he had a tryout for the Boston Red Sox, and Joe Cronin, who was the manager of the team, he really wanted Jackie Robinson. Cronin thought that Robinson was one of the most talented ball players he ever saw. But it was Tom Yawkey, the Red Sox's very, very racist owner, who said that he would never have a black man, although he didn't use that word. He used something that was more pejorative. He would never have a black man on the roster of the Boston Red Sox. Now, Landis, had he caught wind of this, Boston would have been in trouble. But I digress from that because that's something we can cover in another video. I think it's high time that we do something to recognize Moses Fleetwood Walker. I am not trying to say that what he went through was any greater or less than what Jackie Robinson went through, because, like I said, Walker was dealing with people for whom the Civil War was a fresh memory. So how do we go about doing this? There's the question. Maybe you make a video like the one I'm making right here. Maybe you go to social media and ask about Moses Fleetwood Walker. How come we don't hear more about him? Why is there seemingly this embargo to pretend he never existed? He was truly the first black man to play Major League Ball. He did it at a time where the wounds were still fresh. Once again, not trying to downgrade what Jackie Robinson went through, because that man went through a lot. However, it is time that we recognize the pioneer that walked the base paths before him and took the slings and the arrows. A man who has sadly been forgotten. Moses Fleetwood Walker. I suggest once you're done with this video, you can go ahead and Google and learn more about him and just some of the things he had to deal with. That's all. Have a good day and a better tomorrow.